So how's everybody doing on their upcycle projects?
Well,
I got
cut
my
mine
pants.
out. So I think I'm going to use some of the embroidery stitches and fancy it up a little bit because it's just a men's gray striped shirt, so it's really not that fancy. I'm going to jazz it up. So
And what are you doing with that again?
I'm making the apron.
That's right. There's
I
Dara.
found two leather, a leather skirt and a leather pair of pants that I cannot get in. And I'm thinking maybe I should attempt to do something with those.
That's a good thing to practice on.
Yeah, because I'm never going to get in those again at the size that they are. Being realistic at this point.
There she is. Good morning. How are things in your world?
The usual. Not enough time for sewing.
I hear you on that one. How's your upcycle project coming?
I just I had to order some more ribbing for the bottom of my jacket. I had enough for the cuffs and the collar, and luckily I had ordered it from Wawak, so I got exactly the same thing.
Oh, good.
I think I probably ordered that ribbing 10 years ago, and it is exact color match.
Ow.
That's the beauty of Wawak. It's always what it's supposed to be. But I still need to fix the jacket, the pattern that I want to use. Everything fits great, but the sleeve is not going to be big enough. So I increased the depth of the arm side, and I'm having a little trouble in my drafting, trying to figure out how to make my sleeve to match my new arm side. I was at Sewing Expo and I took a sleeve class where I got lots of information I've gotten many times before about how to draft the right sleeve for me, but no one ever tells you how to then match your arm side and your sleeve cap and your design, like the whole package of that. Like I know perfectly well how to get something fitted with no ease. Yep, that's not what I'm looking for.
Do you know how to walk? Do you know how to walk a sleeve cap? Okay. So start at the top center. So
Yeah.
shoulder and center of the sleeve, and walk it and see how much you need to add. Then you can.
I know how much I need to add. I know how to do all of that.
Okay.
But what I don't know how to do without actually making a mock-up of the whole thing is figure out whether the curve and the shape of the sleeve cap is going to be a comfortable, good-looking fit for my new shoulder arm combination. So I think I'm just going to have to do that. I don't want to waste I only have this one quilt, so I don't want to make it and have it not fit. So I think I'm just going to have to find some heavy fabric in my stash and I think I have to make both of them. It's such a big problem for me. Like, I think I have to make the jacket from the waist to the shoulder with both the sleeves on it to make sure I know it's going to fit. I don't know any other way to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it sounds like you're going to need not a high sleeve cap, but a shallower sleeve cap.
Well, when I added the height, I'm not sure I'm doing this correctly, but I definitely need the height from the shoulder to the underarm. The jacket I'm working with is very fitted there. And there's no way I can get it on over, like over a sweater or anything like that. So the whole thing has to be bigger.
Okay, let me see if I can find something, some blog and YouTube stuff, and I'll post it on GroupWorks.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, let me see what I can find, because I have books I could,
yeah, I have several books, and I have taken several sleeve classes. I don't have a problem making things that are, like a true fitting muslin, like for your sloper. I can do that. I get lost between the size I need for my sloper and adding the ease and the design, and that's
Okay.
where my disconnect is. And
Okay.
the sleeve class I took at Expo was Joe Vecchiarelli taught it, but he used Tim Gunn's design directions for how to make your sleeve. And I've seen how Tim wears his sleeves, and there's no ease in there like that. It's just, it literally like a fitting. It's not a wearable thing.
Yeah, and when
So-
you're making a jacket, it's always oversized so that you can wear other things under it. So
Right. And everybody always talks about you need 2 inches in this, at least 2 inches in the sleeve. And, you know, like I get lots of information, but somehow I'm like lost between that, like where it's actually articulated, like how, because I understand that you have to keep it tight up under your armpit or you won't have any range of motion.
right, right. Unless your sleeve is a lot larger, yeah.
Yeah. That's those. Yeah. I don't, all I know how to do that fits is a giant oversized sleeve. Like I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what I can find.
Do you have a jacket you could look and measure the armhole?
I do have lots of jackets that fit. What I'm trying to do is make a sleeve to fit this particular jacket. I'm just trying to increase that space in a jacket and a sleeve that already exist. I don't want to reinvent it. I don't want to put a new sleeve in there. I just want to alter the sleeve to match the alterations I'm making on the jacket. And when you put it here, it then messes with that curve that goes on the jacket.
Yep.
Make it a vest.
I wouldn't wear that. Wouldn't wear the vest. You would think it's like I have a block right at this point, and this is the problem that I have with all garments that I make. I always have to alter the sleeves, and I'm always in this same conundrum because you can squeeze a little more ease in there. Like they say, you can get 1.5 inches in. I can get more in, but that doesn't solve the problem. I need to put a whole lot more in. Like I'm probably size 12 shoulder and a size 20 arm. These are the directions that I've been using for years from Threads magazine, which is a workable solution, but the amount I need to spread here to make a standard pattern fit my arm, this cap gets horribly flattened. Not like in this picture, but like, you know, down another inch or so.
Okay.
So,
and so then it doesn't fit, or you don't like the way it fits? You want more ease up there? What?
it just looks terrible. Like it changes the design element. Like that sleeve cap is no longer the proper shaping for that jacket, shoulder and everything. So I don't know how to put it, you know, to correct this part up here without adding too much length, which then I can't ease back into the shoulder. See what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got you. So let me see what I can find. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, after all my classes, I've determined I either need a 2-piece sleeve to make it work, or I need a dart. I can handle that. Like, okay, I'll do that. But then how do I then correct when this really gets flattened and shortened and out of shape? How do I then put some shaping back in there so that I have the look I want instead of a weird, lumpy, ill-fitting thing?
Okay. Let me see what I can find. And I'll dig into my books too if I have to do something myself.
Yeah, thank you. Because I have several books, but nobody explains. People explain what you need to do to fix things, but they never explain what you need to do to put them back together so they still look like the thing you started with.
Sure.
Would it help if you added length onto that top arch part?
That's what I need to do to maintain the shape.
Yeah.
But then you can't get it. Now you've made the whole sewing line longer and you can't get it into that sleeve space, right? Okay. You know, now you've got too much for the arm side.
Yeah.
You can't split that arm, this part of it, to,
Then if I
Up there.
split that, now I'm taking width back out.
Uh-huh.
You know, everybody's got their little fitting issues, and what I've learned from all the teachers and all the classes is the more seam lines you have, the more places you can adjust and
Right.
put more things. And on any other jacket, what I do, I go to that 2-piece sleeve, which allows me, you know, forget all this is here. I now have a seam here where I can add a whole bunch of shaping. I'm basically doing like a princess line bust dart on the side of my arm to get, I call them the girls, I get big girls in those sleeves. But on this particular project with this quilt, I don't want to slice up the quilt in too many more pieces. It's already pretty fragile. I'm just trying to get back to I'm trying to stay at a 1-piece sleeve. And I don't mind if it has a big dart at the elbow so that I can move in there. But I just, when I've drafted these 2 pieces and walked them, and I'm just really afraid that it's going to be something lumpy and unwearable. Because then what happens is, like, you know, you got all these layers and your jacket is like sticking out funny, pulling in funny places. And if I have to, I can go with a totally different style, but I just really like this style. I'm not ready to give up this style yet.
But a lot of people have that dilemma with their sleeves. It's one of those things. See, and when I guess because I come from a drafting background, I love to draft, and I start with the draft and body measurements. So, and then restyle from that.
See, and I've taken several classes, and I can, you know, I can follow the directions and draft everything. And so I actually come from a mechanical drafting background.
Oh, so that's
to me,
easy
you
for
know,
you.
When the teacher says draw a line parallel to this, I'm like, whoop, whoop, and everybody's still standing there saying, which one's parallel? But I don't know how to design stuff. I don't know how to get to something from that. Like, I don't understand the neckline and the ease and every time I try, I get something that just winds up in the trash.
Oh. Yeah, I think I had some really good instructors in college, and I'll never forget the first pattern drafting class I took, because that's where I started pattern drafting. She was incredible. And it was like everything just clicked. And all of the dart rotations and all of that I'd always been curious about when I was sewing patterns in high school. It's like, where do you get these seams? How does it fit like this? And then once I took that class, it was just click. And I think she actually could see a light bulb go off in my head. So after that, it just came so easy to me.
See, and I took that basic pattern drafting class twice. The first time I followed the directions, but I didn't understand. And the second time I understood way more. But it's been like a good 6-7 years, and I can't get to drafting actual patterns. I can't get to past that like ease issue. How much do you need? Where do you put it?
Yeah, and there's so many factors that go into that. It's how people like to wear their clothes, what kinds of fabric. Because if you're making 2 garments, you're doing one in a loosely woven with some lycra in it versus something that's a stable cotton or even a leather. The fits are 2 totally different things. And a lot of it is personal, not only style, but how do you like to wear your clothes? Some people like them tighter, some people like them looser. So it all has to work together.
Yeah. There's a mystery somewhere in there.
I guess that's why I still like taking, even though I know how to do all the drafting and stuff, for me, it's easier to go to Goodwill, find something that fits, that I like the way it fits, and maybe minor alteration. And I take it apart and use that as a pattern.
My favorite thing to do now is just take something that fits, whether it's I don't care. You give me something that fits you, I'll be happy to make it for you again. That's the best part of sewing. Like, I don't know why. I like to reproduce things, and I like them to look like you bought them at the store. Like
Yeah.
completely no homemade, everything inside
Mhm.
finished.
That's my favorite thing too.
Yeah, it's always nice when somebody's got
Yeah.
something they've ruined and they'll let you cut it
Mhm.
up, because then it's so much, it's like one less step in the reproduction process.
Yeah,
You get it exact the first time.
exactly. Yeah. Occasionally have to allow for differences in fabric a little bit, but you just add a little bit.
Does anybody have their upcycle project? I know Penny's been working on that quilt. Did you start putting it on something new, or are you still taking it off?
No, I'm still working on the quilt, putting the pieces together. I cut off my pants and I wore the brown ones. And so now I got this. What am I going to do with it? And I'm working on my preemie blankie.
Those colors are so pretty.
I thought they're pretty. And then I've got, see, then you make these little bit, aren't these cute? They're
Oh
precious.
my gosh.
Those little caps.
Tiny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh
for the
my
little
gosh.
preemies. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and I've got these. They're a little bigger and heavier.
So what kind of yarn do you use? Because their heads are so sensitive.
Yeah, you can't have fuzzy. You can't have scratchy. So they usually tell us what kind to buy. What
I
I'm
see.
using now is it's a baby yarn. I forget what the name of it is. I've had it for a while. And then I've got some orange. Oh, here it is. It's soft and simply soft. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it's going to take for it. This was a huge skein. So I'm going to be sick of this color before I get it done. But I've gotten one done of the other color combination. They're
Oh, how
18
cute.
by 18.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
so tiny.
Yeah. Well, the babies are tiny. Some of them,
Yeah.
less than 2 pounds, which, I understand those. So,
The hospital volunteer service sent out their list of things they need, and they want quilts for the NICU, but they're meant to go over the,
yeah,
thing
to
in the
make
job.
it dark. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I can do that. And then it says that they should be like 48 by 53. Like someone has measured, and this is the size that fits
Yeah.
exactly over this thing. And then I
Yeah.
thought, that's going to take me a lot of math to figure out how to make a quilt. Like I'm going to have to make something with just kind of a floating border and then just chop it off at the right dimensions, because I can't figure out how to work backwards from those dimensions to make a quilt.
Watch Missouri Star has
Mhm.
a self-binding receiving blanket,
Mm-hmm.
and you cut them certain, like one's 30 inches by 30 inches, one's 40 inches by 40 inches, and then it all comes together, and you turn it right side out and stitch around it, and it's bound, and so
Mhm.
you can figure out how big, how to make it, and it's just 2 pieces of material.
Well,
Very easy.
they're asking for like actual quilted quilts.
Oh,
So I don't
Well-
know if they send them home with them or what they do with them.
they might.
Yeah.
Another
So-
thing to do would be to get start with a panel. You can buy those
Mhm.
pre-printed panels and then just add borders to make it size.
Yeah.
That would be
That would-
fast and
yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
Now,
that would be
if you make a quilt like for this size for the baby itself, there's parameters too. It's
Mhm.
flannel and fleece.
Mhm.
You can't have any seams because of their skin being so fragile.
Yeah.
So-
No, this stuff isn't touching them. This stuff is
Yeah.
going over the equipment.
Yeah, it makes it simulate
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
for the babies, because the lights have to be on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then they get confused when they go home and they stay up all night. Ask me how I know. And when he came home, he was almost 5 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was tiny. He
How
was
long
tiny
was-
for a long time.
How long was he in the NICU?
Almost 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months, and then we brought him home, and he was only 17 pounds when he at a year, so he was tiny for a long time.
Yeah.
Mm.
So-
And then he catch up about age 2 or so?
no,
No?
he caught up. He had a growing spurt when he was between about 11 years old, and it was like six inches in like 6 months. It was like boing, and now he's over 6 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
So, but he's 45, so I don't know where my baby went.
They tend to do that, don't they?
I know, he's
I
all
know.
gone. And my grandchildren won't give me any more babies, so
I can't say anything to my children, but I hope someday I'm not just like a grandparent to dogs. I hope they're actual human beings.
I do have great grandpuppies.
None of my kids have any interest in having kids. None of them.
Yeah.
Well, even after I was married, I was still saying I was never having kids. And I had 3 in 3 years. So I'm figuring maybe like some light bulb will go off in their heads and they'll change their minds at some point.
God has plans.
My children don't want children. Nope.
Well, we taught them it was so important to like get an education and have a career, and they're doing that. We told them women could do anything and have any career. So
Yeah.
I guess that's what they got.
What happened with my granddaughter? Her mother's second child, which was born 10 years after her, was just a hard baby with esophageal reflux, and just really a hard baby, cried all the time. And she was also in at the birth. And I think she decided then that is not for her. And that's what she says. I said, well, she said, if we have, it'll be adoption. And I said, that's fine. But we're not seeing them.
I got hopes that my son's fiance will maybe take a break from her career because she's doing the same thing. So, but that's where my hope is.
Well, my granddaughter that's getting married has converted to Catholic. So I'm thinking I might get some great grandchildren out of that.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
Sally, do you have children?
Sally's got a grandbaby already.
Yep.
Ah,
I have children, and I have one grandchild that I call my child.
oh,
Yeah, sure do.
grandchildren are a lot more fun than the kids.
Yeah. I love my grandchild. You know how they always say, like, oh my gosh, you'll really love your grandchild. I really have experienced that. So I know what Dara's talking about, how she wants to have a grandchild. Like you're always there ready with your picture when somebody asks you.
Yep. Like I have a next door neighbor. He's got 2 girls, same thing. They're the same age as my girls, careers, traveling the world, doing that big thing. And the last time I ran into him, he said, well, the younger one is now living with a boyfriend. So he doesn't care if she gets married, but he's hoping there might be some accidental grandchild in there.
Yeah.
Like
We have one of those.
Happy with that.
they're all different.
I was gonna say, what is this upcycling that you guys are doing? Because this seems like different. I thought upcycling would be you take something like a shirt and you make it into like take a man's shirt and you make it into a dress or something like that. But it seems like you guys are like Penny, I think you're doing a quilt, right?
Oh, yeah, but I'm not, the upcycling, the only thing I came up with was shortening my pants to capris.
Oh, okay.
So
It counts.
I'm doing all new stuff because I had too many projects I got to get done.
Oh, okay.
But when I was at the sewing expo this past weekend, I took a class with a teacher who also taught an upcycling class. So she showed us a bunch of her stuff,
Mhm.
and she does from her own closet. She goes into her closet and finds something that she's always liked, or it never fit right, or whatever the issue was with it, and she completely changes it. Like she'll change a dress into a skirt, or you know, a jacket into a pair of shorts. Like, it sounds weird, but the one thing that she does a lot of, which I thought, oh, you could do that pretty easily, is she takes skirts and she takes off the waistband that doesn't fit and she puts on a waistband that does fit, so that she can wear things that she's outgrown. So she just takes fold over elastic, that heavy duty Dritz kind that they sell at Joann's, not the thin stuff, but the thicker one.
Yeah.
And she just goes around the top of it with the elastic. She's like, when was the last time you tucked your shirt in? When was the last time anybody saw the waistband on anything you're wearing? So that gave me some ideas that I might have some stuff. Like, I made this dress. This is that quick sew dress, and I made it in a bigger size and it's too big. And I was thinking I could make that into a skirt. I could take it all apart and change the neckline. Like, I have a couple of things in my closet where I really like the fabric and I made the thing and it's a dud for whatever reason, size or fit or whatever. So maybe I might, after I finish my sleeve and my quilt jacket, I might drag some of those things out and rescue them.
Yeah.
What
so
I
put
did
them
when
to the quilt.
I was like 13, and full gathered skirts were not in style, and my aunt gave me all of hers, and I took the waistband off and pulled all the gathering out, ironed them flat, and I'd cut out, I was a tiny little girl then, and I would cut out a pair of shorts and a top out of her skirts. I recycled a long time ago because we didn't have a lot of money to buy things with.
When you think about it, you have all of those clothes in your closet that are, you know, great fabric and stuff, you know, that you can't even buy anymore, you know. So that's a good idea. I think I'm going to go and shop my closet, as they say, or sew my closet, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Especially if you already like it, like you already like that fabric, you picked it for whatever reason.
Yeah, for reason, yeah.
Yeah, there might be enough there for another garment of a different style.
I just like the thing you said about the skirts, because all of my skirts have waistbands in them. And you're right, you never wear your shirt tucked in anymore.
Irene, are you working on your upcycle project?
Yeah, I just I am doing what I had mentioned to whoever before. I'm taking a pair of pants. It's pants, but it's not pants I like. So these are the pants, and they're you know, these things, they're so gathered through here, and they've been, I mean, I wore them like once or twice at home, but when I was wearing them and I'd see myself in the mirror, I just look like a big poof ball in the middle. So because it's just so thick. So what I'm doing, I just cut off the bottoms, and so now I'll go up the side seam and open them up, and they will become a skirt eventually. I'll cut the seam up right now. So I just started to cut the seam up, and then I've got the bottoms of these, you know, the bottoms of what I just cut off. So I'll see if they will fit in, you know, in the middle here where it gets cut off. See if that helps at all, gives me fabric. We'll see. I've never done this before, so this is a new one. This is a new thing. Wasn't wearing it anyway. Well, I think I've seen this been done a million times before. I just have never done it, and since it was sitting in, I mean, I bought them this year, but they look so nice and comfy to wear, but I just didn't like the look on me. I don't care if I was just at home. I still just don't like looking at myself in the mirror. So here I am, I'm cutting them up. Has anyone ever done this before?
No, but I've seen it done many times.
Sally?
Yeah. Yes,
but
I've seen it done many times.
I mean, just in magazines or something like that?
No, on, you know, like YouTube.
Hi, Cheryl.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Cheryl.
So what do they, do you remember what did they use for anything on the inside for fabric? Whatever.
No, it's the part of the pants.
The bottom?
Pants.
Okay.
They sew the pants together, the inside of the pants together.
Okay, so here I am. I got them all opened up. So I have them opened up. So now I got all this extra stuff. So I just, with all this extra stuff, I gotta figure what to do.
I guess
Well,
it depends how flared you want it to be.
Yeah.
Because like on those jean skirts, they maintain that crotch line and then put the fabric underneath. So it's almost like an applique and you can see all the lines on it.
Mhm.
Oh, so they're not cutting it at all.
No, they're not taking, they're just kind of smoothing it and top stitching it down.
Oh, okay.
But then
Yeah,
it
'cause they
shows.
still want to see it.
Yeah.
Huh?
But then you
But they
still
still wanna
see it. So I guess it depends on what style you want it to look like.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. I've got it completely opened up, but it depends on how wide I want it to be. Okay, so I guess maybe what I'll do is I can sew it in on the one side, and I can sew it in on the one side. I sew it in on the one side, and then I could try it on and then just kind of maybe pin fit it. Maybe that's what I'll do.
You did cut the crotch up though, right?
All I did, I only, if you're, I don't know what you're,
Like you have to cut part of the crotch up and then put it across.
Yeah, they overlap a little bit. That's
Yeah.
how they get it to lay flat.
Yeah.
so I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that the look you want? Because there's so much fabric there. I wonder if you could just straighten it. Would it be a wide enough skirt for you, or would it be too tight like a pencil skirt?
Okay. So,
Because those were big legs, right? That's why I didn't like
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay, I can cut out some of the,
But are you going to change the waistline and the gathering there? Did you like that part of it?
not really, but I mean, would be I don't want to do anything that's going to be really difficult to do. So I think what you're saying is, at this point, I'll cut out some of that.
Well, no, you don't cut it. You don't cut it out. You just cut it open and then you overlap it.
Cut this itself.
Yeah, cut it open,
Here?
you overlap it, and then you stitch it, and then you cut whatever you want out. That's how you overlap it.
So
And then you decide how you want it to fit. Like
I'm not cutting any of this out right now. I'm not cutting any of that out.
No,
on the jean skirts, they open the crotch seam coming up towards the center front. So they I'm sorry, here. So what you're saying is this here. Yeah.
Right.
So you have to get back to where it's straight and smooth, and then they overlap those two pieces so it lays flat.
Just
And
so I do it up all the way up to the zipper.
To where you get to the flat part.
Yeah.
Because if you just put a piece of fabric in there, you're going to make yourself like a 3-dimensional space that, I don't know, might not be too attractive on the front of a skirt.
right.
It'll poof out right there is what you're saying.
Yeah, like a cod piece or something. It would be interesting, but probably not what you're going for.
It's an element.
I don't know. Some of the stuff we see on the runways these days, she might invent something new.
No,
And
not in that way.
You're like, what the heck is that?
Now, Casey says that she's put something in the chat. She can't use her mic today for some reason, but she changed a dress into a shirt because she liked the fabric. Oh, how pretty.
So,
Oh, nice.
So I wonder what she did.
So drapey. Did you chop it all up, Casey?
Yeah, she can't answer.
She has to type.
Well, she could.
She can't
We
talk
could play
because
charades,
you
yeah.
couldn't really see it.
Oh, okay.
She just shortened it. Oh, okay.
Okay, so you just eliminated the bottom part.
Stitch the pockets down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm like,
That a dress she did, or was that
It
or
was
a
a-
shirt she turned into a dress? I'm not sure.
It was a dress she turned into a shirt.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know why you don't understand, Jean, because that's like the size, the length that most teenagers wear right now.
Right, exactly. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, my daughter probably has a dress that's that short right now.
Well, I guess back in the day we wore them that short, but not now.
I don't know where I was at in the last, last week maybe. But I'm looking at this girl in her dress and I'm just going, girl, that should be a top. The only thing I could think of, that should be a top. You look ridiculous.
Some of them are so short, I'm afraid they don't bend over. And if you have to,
Do
and
bend
if you have
over.
pulling at it,
Absolutely, absolutely.
It
Oh,
just,
I like that.
I don't know if I ever wore things that short.
Doreen is just slicing away, taking parts off of this pair of pants.
She take the elastic off the top. Oh, what was
No
that?
fear. There's no fear in the chopping on this.
You know, I think what
What-
happened,
what are
okay,
they?
like this thing. I think I got this at, who knows, Kohl's, Target, wherever. But, you know, I just sliced that down. That's just me doing it, you know. I think I lost my fear of slicing and dicing because some years ago, I was watching my sister who knows zip. She knows nothing about sewing. She doesn't care. She'll just ask me what to do with something, you know, because she just goes, what do I do? And I'll just tell her and she does it. And she could care less. So, but I saw her, we were at a girls' get together and with the family. And I'm watching her. This is the middle of the summertime. It was hot out. And we were inside my sister's, at the time she had a farmhouse that we were all at. And she had a t-shirt, too hot. So she just I saw her just looking around, where's a pair of scissors? And for just a moment, she just went like this, went like this. And I went, if she can do that and she knows nothing about sewing, I guess I can rip it myself. And I mean, I know a little bit, not to be totally ridiculous, but I mean, she just ripped it. And I went, that's a good attitude. It's just fabric. I mean, I wouldn't do it to $15, $20 a yard stuff, but it's just fabric.
Well, what is that old thing they used to say? You think 3 times and cut once, and then I still make a mistake. So
You measure 3 times?
yeah, and then before I cut it, yeah.
Yep. I don't measure 3 times.
I should, but
Well, they say it doesn't matter as much as what we grew up in the day and age of measuring every little thing. And I'm hearing more and more that on certain things that the grain doesn't matter at all. And some things do, of course, but most of us come from the day and age of being very careful. I'm more careful if it's got a design.
mm-hmm.
You know, we were also raised by that generation who went through the Depression. So I think that's where some of it comes in too.
Well, I didn't have, well, my mom did, but I don't know.
When the older I get and the more I sew, I am getting less picky about fit, because no one is all that picky about the fit on the clothes they buy at the store. You'll buy something and wear it, and it's not right. The sleeves aren't right. The waist isn't right. The crotch depth isn't perfect, but you still wear it. You might wear it till it falls apart.
And as long as I put it on, as long as I've got it on,
If it's
and it looks
comfortable,
good. I don't analyze it any time. I give it a blink and I went, looks good, looks good, looks good, done.
yeah, I'm doing
Well,
this.
I
I
took
started
a
the same thing with my sewing. I am not going to agonize over the fit of
Something
t-shirts
so-
and jeans because
And even if
look-
it's ridiculous, even if it looks kind of bad in some place, maybe in the back area where you maybe missed something or another.
I won't do that. If I think it looks bad, I won't wear it. But if I think it looks good enough, and then when I go someplace and somebody I know who sews and fits will say to me, you know, you could just bring this up a little bit. And I think, yeah, I could, but I'm not going to.
Now, I
I'm
took
done
a
with it.
class with Sarah Vebin, and she was doing the fitting and trying to get the shoulder right. She said, you need to adjust this 1/8 of an inch. And I'm thinking 1/8 is not going to make any difference.
Nope.
And I took that, I guess I took that class about 5 years ago. And I thought I had been sewing for years and never worried about where the shoulder was. You know, it just always seemed to turn out right with a regular commercial pattern. But when, you know, she was doing the fitting that was like 1/8 of it, I mean, I couldn't hardly see that on my machine, you know, so it's, you know, but like you say, and even in the expensive store-bought stuff, I mean, if you're talking, you know, when you go into the expensive section of like Nordstrom's or something, and you look at that stuff, it doesn't, and try it on, it's really not that great a fit. You know, considering what the money you're paying for it.
When the
'Cause I
stuff,
do-
yeah, you can't get it altered the way things are made these days. There isn't even anything in there to alter. Like if you take it
Right,
apart,
exactly.
it shreds.
Exactly. Because you would
Yeah.
think if you're spending $700 or $800 for a dress, it would have a seam, but it doesn't. I mean, the seam is maybe 1/4 of an inch, so you have no alteration. If you need to let it out now, you can take it in. But that's why, I mean, I've never brought anything. I was talking to a friend and I said, I didn't have a dress to wear to something. And then I thought, I have never brought a dress in my life. Never. I thought about it. I have never had as they say, a store-bought dress. Because my mother sewed, and then, you know, when I got older, I did the same thing. So maybe I should go out and buy a dress.
You won't like them. You won't like the fit.
No,
You know what though?
what you
I
do
think
is
I'll go to
you
one of
go
those.
you go out
secondhand
and
shops.
Jean,
Uh-huh.
you go out and look at the dresses for design, for what's
Exactly.
them. That's the only reason why I go out shopping is just to look
That's
at.
what I do. I mean, I go with my cousin sometimes, and she doesn't sew. She would get so mad with me because she was buying this expensive stuff, and I would look at the seams and say this, that, and the other. And she just said, "Just shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it." I said, "Well,
No,
it's
I'm
not
not
made
saying
for
for the
me."
seams only. I'm saying for the design, the whole design
Oh yeah,
dress. Yeah.
but you know the designs now and most things are very simple.
But
They're
that's
not
what
that
then you know.
complicated.
I take a lot of pictures when I go into all kinds of shop boutiques, everything, and just take pictures, bring it home, and what can I manipulate and make it myself?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And I like to look at online catalogs for the same thing. I like detail. That's
Yeah.
what I like. What are they doing to embellish it?
Right,
Yep.
exactly.
When some of
Exactly.
it is so simple, they're just making like pin tucks or, you know, like it's the smallest detail that makes it look like you didn't make it yourself.
What I really like is watching old movies, especially from the
Oh.
late 30s, 40s, and early 50s.
Oh, they're
Yes.
gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, there's so
Oh.
much beautiful detail in the clothing.
I love those. Oh, I love them.
I love to go to, if there's any kind of exhibit at the Houston Museum where they will let you walk up and look at the clothing. In our local museum here in Raleigh, like the glass cases, the stuff is right up against the glass. And I'm like a little kid, I got my nose up against the glass to see how do they put that together. And I love uniforms. If we can get to a military museum that has like uniforms, some of them, depending on how they're run, they will let you take the jackets down off of the mannequins and
Wow.
see the insides and everything. So, yeah.
Did
Okay.
y'all see the Downton Abbey? displays.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, yeah. It was
I
in
didn't see 'em in
Philadelphia.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, this isn't right. So I did cut what I did cut, and so I got it.
Now it's open, yeah.
What's,
You could
I mean,
make that in, could you make that into a pleat?
that's what I'm saying.
How did you cut it?
We're just supposed
That's
to take
what
the
I'm
seams out,
saying.
the stitches out.
Okay, take that out.
I don't think that's quite right.
Well, what I
It's
I
more
always
fun
get to
laughing at
provide-
Dara.
I always get to provide entertainment. Guarantee. So what I did,
Okay,
I
you need
think
to,
you got your cod piece, Sarah.
Who?
okay, so what I did is I cut this thing, I cut this thing, which is the, the bottom, I cut this
Yeah.
off, cut this off, and I got this.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
and that's what I put in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sewed it in there?
I just pinned it.
okay, take out the pins.
I did. Just
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that seam opened up to where it's flat? The crotch seam opened up?
Oh, I opened it up
You
to
came up to the
I
zipper?
opened it here up to the fly.
Right.
Okay, now lay it on a flat surface.
That's what I had. I had it laying on a flat surface.
Okay, now overlap the left side over the right side.
It doesn't look like it has a curve. It doesn't look like there's no arch in it.
I took that out.
Ah.
Oh.
That's what you needed.
Cut
No.
that.
Can you seam it straight down?
Yeah. Do you have enough width to seam it straight down and maybe add some fullness somewhere else on the skirt? The
That's
more
pretty
I'm looking
full.
at this and this nice drape of this fabric, I would be tempted to cut that whole skirt off right at the level of the bottom of the fly
Hang
and
on.
then do like the tiered thing.
Yeah,
that-
yeah, that's what I was
Doing it.
thinking too, the tier thing. Like she could have a couple of tiers.
Yeah.
What
But
now?
she's got all of that
Okay,
laid
stop.
fabric.
I got one person, please. I can't hear what everybody's talking. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're holding your skirt up. I would be tempted to cut at the just below the level of the fly.
Okay, so I'm here.
You're just gonna go straight across there. I'm not saying cut it. I'm just saying that's what I would do.
Oh,
Cut straight across, like horizontal line. And then I would take all the leftover pieces and make myself some tiers, like make 1 or 2 tiers by
so
sewing those leg pieces back together.
And
in the-
cut it below
okay,
the pocket.
hang on,
though.
hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Below the pocket.
Hey, please, hang on a second. In the back here, I didn't cut anything off in the back.
Mhm.
I didn't. So let's focus on the back because I don't know if I want the tiers. So maybe I'll sew the other thing back on. So here, when you
So,
got the back,
Open up that crotch seam up to where it's starts to go straight.
so are you saying you want me to cut into here again?
Just
So take
open the seam.
seams.
Seam rip it.
Just you're saying this seam here, just
Yep.
Yep,
You just
all
rip
the
it.
way up. All the way
All
up
the-
to where the bottom of the pocket, it looks like you have a seam right there or a
Right there.
pocket or something in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
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 So
so
right
I
where,
do it all the way up to the bottom of the pocket.
And then
Yep.
stop.
right.
Okay, I can do that. So let's work on that. 'Cause if I
Don't
can
But you
cut,
should be-
just open.
But you should be cutting it on the line of the seam,
Yes.
like right up,
Yes.
because you want to
Yes.
keep the seam line.
Yes.
But you want to
that's
take
exactly
the,
what I'm
the
doing.
stitches out first before you cut. Don't cut until you take the stitches out, right?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, you've got to, you're making us all nervous.
Doreen is fearless.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you know what did I say?
All right.
Think 3
Oh,
times and
Okay,
cut one.
okay. So
overlap one over the other, one side over the other.
Okay, so I'm just showing you what I did.
Yep. Okay.
Right on the seam line. So now you're saying,
Overlap.
now you're saying overlap.
Overlap the right side over the left.
Yep. Okay.
No.
No,
You said left. Here's
No.
You have to lay it down flat. Lay the skirt out flat. And
Okay.
then when it's flat, pick up one of those inside leg seams and smooth it out and put it over top of the other one and smooth the other one underneath. So they completely overlap each other.
Yep.
And that's how
I
you
was just doing that when I had them up in the air, but yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Everything is totally flat. It's on top of each other.
So on those jean skirts, what they do right now is they just start stitching through the layers and then they fill in that triangle underneath it. But you see all of it. It's like you see all the work that used to be there. It's a style that you get when you do that. Not sure it's a style that you want to get.
So this was laying flat before. So where did you want me to do?
We want you to lay the skirt flat so that your side seams are up. Like hold it by the waist. So you got your side seams on either side and lay it down flat that way. Like it's a skirt instead of a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Nope. Your
No.
side seam. No. You got to go to your other sides.
Open it.
Hold it by the waist. Hold your pants by the waist.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And now if you can imagine, we're taking the pieces that you just ripped open and we are overlapping those two curves on the bottom of the crotch. That's what we want you to overlap while it's laying flat. And that will show you a big triangle below where you've got an empty space below it. And that's where people fit in another piece. It's almost like adding a godet.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
No. Just keep doing, I'm not getting it yet. So just help me keep it.
Oh, we can't hear you.
All right. So you've got your crotch seam and you're laying one over the other.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. I never do things that way, so it's just different for me. So you're doing the one over the others.
So it's easy as if you lay them flat. Yeah, that's right. Lay it flat, open and flat.
Okay. So it's all flat.
Right.
Yep.
And now I saw what you did. I'm just
So lay the legs straight, like
Yeah.
they're coming off the body.
yeah.
So make sure the legs are straight. And then take the crotch inseam, or the crotch seam, I should say. Just lay it flat. There you go. Now put one underneath and lay it out smoothly. And you're only working with one layer, like the fronts right now, not all of it.
Okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just not getting it with everybody. I'm gonna watch it on the YouTube. There's a YouTube. It'll be easier for me not to.
Okay.
It's hard to think when I got 6 people looking at me. So I'll just do that. And I think I can just sew on the thing that I cut off. I may try doing that. This is what I cut off. So I'm gonna see if I could just zigzag it for the point of doing it. I can zigzag.
The back will be very similar to the front. So if you work with the back where you didn't cut it off, you'll get an idea if that's what you like. Do you want that?
Yeah.
Is that the look you want? Because it's a very, it's like a raw, usually it's kind of like a raw edge. It's very clear that this used to be a pair of pants and now it is a skirt.
Yeah. Oh, there's the other one too. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanna have a clue if I like it or not. Because I think you can do this on any jeans that you have and see if you like the look without getting a jean skirt. I mean,
Mhm.
You know,
so
actually, it's hard to find a jean skirt. You very seldom see those in the store.
I have found 2 pairs of jean skirts, but they're shorter. I wanted them a little bit longer. I did
Yeah,
find jean skirts that were shorter.
Yeah,
I
I've
just
seen
my
those
own.
for the
Yeah.
young people, you know, but way above
Oh,
the
I'm not
knee.
talking, they're not short like those. I found them online because I didn't buy them. I didn't go out and get them. I got 2 pairs in
Okay.
the closet that are above the knee, but they're not horrible short.
It's right above. Okay.
Yeah. I had a pair of my other jean skirt that was a little bit longer. I literally wore that probably every jean day that we had at work. I wore them all the time. I really liked it. When they're
They're
shorter
good
at work,
garments.
huh?
They're good garments. I don't know why they get a bad rap from a lot of people, but I always have one in the closet.
I wore them so dang much. They were my casual Friday thing because I don't always love jeans. So a jean skirt, that's fantastic. So yeah, I wore it all the time.
Yeah, and it's not easy to find a pattern for one. You can't these days, if you want a jean skirt, you kind of have to take find a pattern that's got the right kind of shape that you're looking for, and then just add the jeans details to it, and do all the top stitching and the center front fly and all that. And
I
you get
would
a jean
rather
skirt.
not make it though, because making it is just so much hard. Well, because a jean fabric is not that easy to work with. It's hard, by the time you get a couple, 2, 3 of them together, which you do get, that's why they have the jean. Well, but you can pound like you don't.
I don't for the skirts, I use the heavier denim that they have at Joann's. I wouldn't go any heavier than that for a skirt because it won't be comfortable when you sit in it. It kind of like dig cuts when you sit in heavy denim.
Yeah.
But that's usually about a 10-ounce denim. And then once you've washed it, don't forget, I'm washing my denim like 3 times on hot water. So I'm taking out all of that stiffness that comes with it. Mostly so I can get all the shrinkage out, because denim just keeps shrinking and shrinking. And then it's just like making any heavier bottom weight fabric, like any pants or jacket or anything. It's not any harder to work with than anything else. But I wouldn't use the same heavy denim I use on men's jeans for a skirt. That would be too uncomfortable for me.
But again, when you just said it's like any other bottom weight, I don't do bottom weights hardly ever. So, and that's part of it. I just don't like all that hard stiffness. So I find it harder to work with. So
maybe because I'm washing my denim in hot water. I wash it and then dry it, wash it and then dry it, wash it and then dry it. And I do it 3 times. So my denim is really soft when I'm working with it.
Okay, that's a good idea, because I've sewn with a lot of denim, because I make a lot of denim jackets, and I only wash it once. But yeah, that would make a difference washing it a couple of times. Thanks for that tip.
When I always use hot water, because I don't care what I've bought denim from lots of different sources. It all shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
Yeah, 100% cotton. Yeah, so it's.
I just put something in the YouTube for you, Doreen.
Thank you.
It's Mimi G's one.
Okay. That would be good.
Make sure you get it before it closes, because otherwise you won't have it.
Oh, that's right. Also, I just had I was just looking at I had Patty Sagers. I think that's her name.
Peggy.
Peggy.
Yeah.
I had her just her, I was just in YouTube, I just happened to go back a ways, or what, I don't know where I was back. She was dealing with different types of sleeves. And I had never, I wasn't even really listening to it. It just happened to be at her podcast. So I was listening and looking once in a while because I was doing other stuff in here. She had the right idea. She said, you guys got to remember to upgrade any clothing when you're making it. And then she went through all these different types of sleeves that we can do. And they're so flippin' easy to do. And they upgrade it, and you look at what, because she'll show a picture of some expensive, anywhere from $200-300 up to $1,000, whatever, for some top. And it looks great. All she's doing, she showed the beginning part of it. You take, doing your normal, your sleeve cap. So there's your sleeve. Well, her template is start up here and bring it slowly about 1.25 inches going down that way. So you're getting that bell thing. So from there, she says, you can put elastic, put it here and here in almost any different way on the sleeve. And you get a whole different look. And she did it, and sure as heck, it's a different look. She did it with a lace, had a lace top and had the puffier sleeve, and just easy looks. It was so freaking easy. And I'm going, this is easy. This is not difficult. I swore that's what that's what I think I got out of it, was that template is just, all you're doing is creating it a little bit bigger, and then you can create your stuff from there. It's just not that dang difficult. And the look it's huge. It's a game changer. It's all in the fabric that you're using too. So I just have to say, you can do almost anything with things that don't necessarily take that much effort. It's not that difficult.
When I just took a class with Kathy Ruddy, and she's all about copying clothes. She's the one who takes the wax paper to the department store and uses it to outline the things. And she was like talking about how to make the front or the back of your t-shirt, like any kind of knit shirt, to make it to like hang better. And she was like, don't put it on the fold, just shift the bottom over like 1/2 inch, and then you'll give yourself an extra 1/2 inch at the to go over the trunk or to cover the belly or whatever. It was like, I think a lot of times we overthink what would work. Like, if you've already got something that fits on the shoulders and you're talking about, well, just change up the sleeve a little bit. Why do we go buy another pattern that's got this complicated sleeve that we can't figure out? When you already know that pattern, you could just make some simple changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm slowly catching on to that idea. Just, it isn't, I mean, I'm finding them, I've realized I'm making a change. I knew the change was happening because Joann's had a sale, I think this last weekend, where they had, I think, like McCall's patterns or something on sale, and who knows what else they had on sale. And I went, I don't need another pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go look through the book, take that time and get yet another pattern. I've got 8 million different sleeve variations the way it is. I didn't even bother going over there because I went, I mean, I had, you guys all knew I bought like 5-6 pieces of fabric. I'm done again. I can't get any more. So I thought, unless it's something else I need, I would rather buy my notions online at some, in a different way than what I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about going over to Joann's this weekend. Didn't even think about it. Didn't
They
even
missed
think
you.
about it. Huh? They missed me?
You.
They probably did. Their revenues
She's definitely
went down.
done again.
Huh?
Done. She's definitely done again, everyone.
Until next time. All of you that have had the sewing expo near you, ours is coming September 2nd through 4th. Did you find anything at the sewing expo I should be on the lookout for?
Well, I told everybody yesterday I bought a machine, so that's good if you're shopping for machines.
Dara,
If you're
I had come in on Dara's conversation, and I have to support this conversation that she was saying, where she's thinking, I'm sorry I'm stealing your show for a little bit, but she was talking about, I really don't need to go to that many more classes, like enough of the classes, I'm not learning that much anymore. I had that same experience. I'm really hesitant about signing up for classes anymore, just because I paid a lot of money. There's a lot of money that goes out for the classes. And I just went, really, what did I get out of it? What can I remember hours later? What did I get out of it? And I was finding I wasn't getting as much out of it. So I probably will still take a class if I find something that I know I'll get something out of, but yeah. But
what kind of machine did you get?
I
what
got
did you get? Yeah.
I got a Juki DX 4000.
Oh, 4,000.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's the brand, that's the style number. And this thing is like designed for people who are doing like vlogging and stuff. You can buy a camera mount that fits right on the front so that you can, you know, talk and sew at the same time. It's like got all the bells and whistles. It's not an embroidery machine. I don't do embroidery, so I don't care about that. But it does. The one thing I liked about it, it would put a buttonhole in my denim. I made myself a little mock-up of what my waistbands are like for my heavy denim, and it put the buttonhole in, no complaint. And I've never found another machine that would do that.
Could you repeat that again? I want to look that up online.
Juki DX 4000.
Does it do anything other than a straight stitch?
Oh yeah, it has 380 some stitches. It has
I didn't know they made that type of machine.
Has 20 buttonholes. It's one of those electronic machines that does everything, but then it also does good sewing. Sometimes you can get a lot of bells and whistles, but you might not like the quality of the sewing. When I tried it out, I made little mock-ups of everything that I would like to sew, and I took chiffon and folded it over 3 layers like you would do on a placket, puts a buttonhole in chiffon, and then without changing the needle or the thread or the buttonhole attachment, put the same buttonhole in denim.
How new is that?
Did
it just come out?
This one came out, I think, in October or November of 2020.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
We don't have a Juki dealer here in my area.
Yeah.
I bought a machine at an expo. I bought the baby lock, my first baby lock, and it was great. But the problem I had with it, you get no lessons. And the guy that was selling it, because I brought it in Virginia, he said, well, you can come to Virginia. And I thought, well, no, I can't do that. And then I thought, well, yeah, I could come and, and stay for a day and do like 8 hours worth of classes. And he wouldn't do that. So in my experience, I would never buy a machine at an expo. I would buy from my local dealer.
Well, this was my local dealer at my expo. So
okay. All right. Yeah.
So I get
okay. Well, you're great then.
Yeah, I can go over there. Anything I can't figure out, I can go over there and they will help me. But it's one of those machines. They have like 3 brands in their store. The people who work there don't know all the details of every machine. So if you go over there and say, I can't figure this out, then they get the book out and sit there with you and help you figure it out. They don't know how to do it either.
Well, actually, I took the baby lock to the local dealer because when the guy shipped it, I couldn't get it to work. And when you get a baby lock, there's some things they have to do when they take it out of the box. Well, she did it. Of course, she didn't charge me, but she was not happy that I did not buy that machine, from her in the area.
Yeah.
So my next baby lock I brought from her. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I got that I really, and I know I'm going to like, is this bright green 5/8" curve, so you can draft and put your seam allowance line and your sewing line on at the same time. I really wanted one in 3/8. I'm gonna have to look online and see if I can find that. They didn't have any 3/8 in stock.
You got the same one.
Oh my God.
Because when you got your piles, you're like tracing through layers sometimes when you're playing with your patterns. And I have a clear one, and it gets lost under the layers of paper on the table. And I spend more time looking for that thing when I'm drafting patterns than I do anything else.
Where'd you get that one from?
This one I got at the expo,
Oh,
but you can get them online.
okay. Because I have a clear one too, like you said.
Yeah, the color is what got me.
Yeah.
The color.
Were there a lot of vendors? Were there a lot of vendors there?
It was the saddest expo I've ever been to. Not a lot of vendors, not a lot of people attending. You know, COVID's on, you know, the Delta variant. People are all worried about that. So they're just, I think, you know, a lot of the vendors and the educators are in their 70s. I can understand why they didn't want to come or schedule in advance to come to a convention, not knowing if they were going to hold it. So I think a lot of people just sat this year out.
Because it's coming
I
to
wish
my
that
area
wasn't
in
happening.
October.
I wish that wasn't happening just because I thought this whole stuff was over with. And now it's not. Now we're back to hearing the same thing on the news with, you know, all this stuff. And it's disappointing.
So Casey says I can just slide this to the 3/8 line. I guess those are 1/8" markers because there's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could, but I'm so lazy. I want to buy a 3/8 one.
You gotta support the vendor, right?
There you go. I'm being altruistic by shopping.
Man, every time I think about buying a new machine, I see another one that I like better.
Well,
that
what are
does
you
more
wanting?
things.
What are you wanting out of it?
Oh, new machine. Another
No,
machine.
But what are you wanting out of your new machine? What
Everything. Well, see, and I knew that I wanted the built-in walking foot, the kind where it just pulls down from the back and you can sew through multiple layers.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, me neither.
A lot of the FAFs have that.
Yeah, it's
So
called an
that's-
IDT.
Yeah, the FAF has it. Janome makes machines that have it. And the machine I'm getting rid of is a Janome that had it. But it wasn't, it was a great quilting machine, but it didn't like to do any kind of like thin, stretchy fabric. It's really good for quilting, not really good for fashion fabrics. So this Juki, I mean, I sewed on like 3 different machines. I narrowed it down to 3 machines, and this was the most expensive one. And, you know, like at the expo, it's like buying a car. You make them an offer, you know, you play that game where, I don't know, it's still too expensive. This will stitch, Casey wants one that'll stitch through 6 layers. This one went through 9 layers with no complaint.
Oh, Casey.
With the proper needle.
I
With
want one
the needle that was on it.
Mhm.
It just had a universal regular needle on it.
Do you know
and
what
it
size though?
Not big, not a huge needle. It wasn't
Really?
a denim needle.
Okay. Okay.
It did my ITY knit. It did the lightning bolt stitch. Then it did the chiffon. Then it did the denim. Then it did all the buttonholes. Never changed the thread. Never changed the needle. Never changed the presser foot pressure. And I'm like standing on my head and putting my finger out the window to try and sew on stuff with my old machine. So
I have a Juki. It's an industrial, and my Juki is the same way. I mean, it's a standard machine, so it only sews forward and backward straight stitch. That's all that machine does, and I do most of my seaming on that. But it's the same thing. Until the needle wears out, I really don't change it. And occasionally, I have to change the pressure on the presser foot and the tension slightly. But the stitch quality is so beautiful. So I presume that one has a rotary hook and not a drop-in bobbin.
it has a drop-in bobbin.
Oh, really?
This is set up like a regular household sewing machine, but it's super heavy. And you know, they say it's not a heavy duty machine. I do not intend to do all my denim top stitching on this one, but I'm definitely doing the buttonholes and the bar tacks and all. I mean, so for a bar tack, you're going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 layers, sometimes depending on where it is on the garment. No problem. It just
Wow.
did it. It didn't complain. And then we put on the dual feed foot. That was without the dual feed engaged. And it's the dual feed is just like the FAF. It just is a little section that comes up underneath. You don't have to switch to a big lumpy thing. It takes like 1 second to engage it. So
I'll have to check that out.
I'm hoping that a lot of people buy these machines. I can't find a lot of people online who have them. I know that's relatively new, you know, 8 months or so since they've been out, but I would just love to see somebody like me who's, you know, on somewhere, anywhere, Facebook, somewhere with a users group for them, because there's a lot of stuff to learn still. There's so many settings. It looks like it scrolls like a phone. You just go through the settings like a phone and you can see everything. And since it's got Wi-Fi, you can watch YouTube videos, instructional videos on the machine, but not at the same time that you're trying to do the thing, because then you have to switch back to the sewing mode to actually.
That makes sense.
My goodness, I mean, machines are something else now. I mean, I think of that machine that my mother had that just went the old-fashioned Kenmore that just, you know, basic stitch and a buttonhole attachment.
Chugga chugga. I had that one too.
4,000.
I had a Kenmore that I like sewed until all the parts on the inside were worn out before I bought another sewing machine.
4,000. 4,000.
Yeah.
I remember Mom's first upgrade from the basic machine that just did straight stitch, and it had cams. I think it was either from Montgomery Ward or Kenmore. I'm not sure which. I think it was a Kenmore. But it had all these cams and it had decorative stitches. And, you know, we were so excited, and we didn't use them very much.
I can remember walking into Sears and buying my first personal sewing machine. I paid $199 for it. It was like one of the most expensive things I had ever bought in my life up to that point. And I sewed on that thing, gosh, maybe 12 years. And I literally wore it out. There was nothing that could be repaired on the inside of that when I was done with it. It was done.
My first husband bought me the Montgomery Wards the first Christmas we were married, and I sewed on it forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I brought my first machine was a Singer, and I brought it right before I got married, and I made my wedding gown on it, and it broke. It broke 5 times in the process, and that's when the repair people used to come to your house. But that was probably an omen, because the marriage didn't last. So the machine was telling me, probably you need to make this dress with somebody else. But yeah, I did have that machine for a while though, but then I went to a Kenmore after that, which was.
I'm thinking that my Montgomery Ward machine lasted longer than that marriage.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping this one lasts me a good long time, because when I was buying it, one of my daughters said, "Does it cost more or less than your first car?" And I had to stop and think about it.
Yeah.
So
does anybody know or have an idea of, I have 2 pairs of capris that are lower waisted than I like. And they had, one of them has the stretchy, not ribbing, but kind of like ribbing. And I'm trying to figure out how I could alter them, after all you guys are talking about this, to raise the waist. And I'm thinking I would have to take all that off and put like a yoke type thing on it.
How do they fit where do they have a fly on them? Like zipper?
No,
So they're
they
just
have-
pull on.
the one pair you pull on and has the drawstring through the ribbing type stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The one woman who I saw who was upcycling and teaching everybody how to do it, she was just taking stuff like that and removing the waistband that she didn't like because it didn't come up high enough. And she was just making it wider, you know, trying to match the best she could for some fabric that she could find that was close to it. Figuring it's all up under your top anyway.
Well, nobody's gonna see up there.
Right. So she was literally just taking like some kind of knit, or mostly she was doing it with knits. So she's taking a knit, making a fold over, you know, doubling the length that she wanted and putting a new elastic and drawstring in at the top.
Well, I may have to look at those and see, because I don't wear them because they're uncomfortable, because they hit me not where I want them to hit.
Yeah, Penny, I think you might be overthinking it a little bit. Because it's not just it's basically just kind of do it. It's not.
Doreen will lend you her scissors. They're sharp. Chop it off.
But are they left-handed?
Yeah. Who cares? You'll figure that one out.
And there's not enough crotch length in there. You could just pull them up further.
No.
Okay, that's
No,
kind of what I
just-
figured.
Yeah. They just hit me at the wrong place. So gonna have
Do
to
a
think.
yoke? Could you do a yoke? Could you take the band off and do a yoke and just raise
That's
it up
what
that way?
that's what I'm thinking. That cut a yoke and put on them,
Yeah.
because I won't wear them, so I might as well.
Yeah.
Nothing
Because
lost.
how far do you need to come up? Like 2-3 inches?
Probably if I could just put another waistband on top of these of this, it would be okay. So if I put a double waistband, maybe if I just
Yeah.
I'll think on this. So
I am
I
shocked.
take those pants and take them apart and see what I can do on both pairs. So we'll have to see.
Another upcycle project.
Stay
I think
tuned.
we've gotten a lot of upcycle.
And I still haven't found my jacket yet. I keep digging. At least my sewing room's getting kind of tidied up a little better while I'm digging through all this stuff. All right, ladies. Anybody got anything else? And we have to decide now. Next month is jackets, and I'm already getting questions about what do we want to do in October.
Well, for me, I could do jackets every month, but I'm sure other people want to move on to some other things.
So if you want to think about it, then let me know next week what you want to do as our theme, because I got to tell Lauren so she can get it up on the website.
Maybe for October, we should do something like broad that covers lots of things, like, I don't know, like fall clothing or something, you know, like leave it open to people's interpretation. Because I know like Doreen's going to be getting into the cold weather, and I'm still going to be wearing short sleeve shirts and capris probably in October.
That's a good idea.
A question though, yeah.
Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
All right.
All right.
bye-bye.
Bye.